Hello. Thanks for coming back for part two. All right. This video that I was going to show you guys before I had to go close some windows, um, it's an example I was saying of how powerful the whole "I got this" mentality is for girls. And I'm going to show you like one expression of it you might like never think, right? So, basically in this TikTok, he's getting drinks for his girlfriend at the bar. So he's ordering the drinks. She's watching him order the drinks. And then she looks at him while he's ordering the drinks. And she basically gets this moment of like DS vibes, let's call it attraction, spark, intense chemistry, fire. So this is an example of a little way you guys might not even notice, but you can see how the broader theme of "I got this" creates female attraction. Right. So he's ordering a drink there. Thank you. Then he's at the bar. He looks back at his girlfriend, played by himself. Okay. And she's all like turned on. Chuck says, I can understand that. All right, great, Chuck. I'm glad you understand that. Yeah. So that's kind of like a vortex moment for you guys. Like a lot of people on that video, they were like, all right, name some examples of the vortex. That's one. She's being sucked into the vortex secretly. Like, let's say you're on a date, and doesn't every like first date basically start at like a bar? And when you're ordering the drinks, you might not know that that's like a vortexual moment for her. So, yeah, and like I said, it's kind of like that broader principle of I got this underlying it. The idea of him kind of taking care of her, handling things. Yeah. So, yeah. Does that make sense to you guys? Was it obvious? Let me know. So, all right, good cosmic shy. So I can show you guys another one if you want. All right. So Smitty says, so she wants to make sure that her man is going to take care of her. Not exactly, Smitty. It's more that she sees that a guy is stepping up, manning up, and taking on a somewhat anxiety provoking task for some women. And that in itself is what is the turn on. Seeing him handling things for her. So it's not that she's kind of like testing him to make sure he's going to take care of her in the future. It's just seeing a guy handling something is in itself, it's like that proof. It's that demonstration of his like underlying alpha traits, if you will. And that in itself is attractive. So it's just a turn on, if that makes sense. So Jack says, what would you say is the number one most attractive trait in a man? And what's the number two? Good question, Jack. So the number one most attractive trait. To me, it's tough. I'm kind of thinking which would be the most. But I'm gonna go with All right, I'll just say this is in the top three most, okay? And I'll have to narrow it down later, see what is the number one most. But I think it's kind of that true leadership material, if you will. Like the kind of person that people genuinely respect, both men and women respect. Um, and not just like respect because he's like the president or something, but like respect because he not only has the qualities of kind of like being able to handle things, being able to get things done, having the strength to kind of like succeed in the social realm, but also doing it in kind of a ethical way in which people like him and respect him for kind of who he is as a person. Like honestly think that's kind of like the ultimate man. Um yeah, like if a guy could kind of marry those two qualities, like having kind of those powerful traits that allow him to kind of like lead and succeed, and also being a genuinely kind of like ethical and kind of compassionate leader, if you will. That's kind of like the ultimate ideal, in my opinion. Um, and then the number two most attractive trait, um, there's so many that are kind of running through my head, but I'm just gonna go with for me personally, a sex positive and complimentary attitude towards women because that's just so important for me. Like that's probably my number one turn off, like after having this channel for a long time, is like all the sex negative guys I get who are just very like anti, promiscuous women and wanting to be with a virgin. Like it's insane, um, in my opinion. So I really respect and am attracted to a guy who is kind of like comfortable with his sexuality and comfortable with a woman's sexuality and almost like helpful to her in wanting her to express hers instead of trying to put her down, shame her, control her, belittle her, keep her down sexually because if that makes sense, like, and I've seen a lot of guys like this on TikTok, and they're really popular with women, and I understand why. Like they're popular with me too. Well, I like them. And they have like a really complimentary attitude towards women, like kind of building them up, like calling them, like a goddess and being like, damn, like you are so sexy. Like, oh my God, you're so gorgeous. That kind of attitude, I feel really helps a woman to feel comfortable with the guy, feel comfortable expressing her sexuality, feel good about herself. And I think it's like incredibly important. And I've been kind of mulling over how to like express that to you guys in a video because I think like a lot of guys are so scared by these like red pill dating coaches, like, oh, never compliment the woman, don't put the woman on the pedestal, men are the prize. And it's just, I don't find it attractive, like at all. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to work in some situations, but for me, it's like a very instant beta tell and like instant turn off. So, um, yeah, that's my answer, Jack. Great question. Great question. So Mark says, pure confidence. This is definitely a very attractive trait to women, but pure confidence alone is not really doing it for me anymore. But when I was younger, possibly it would have. So Chuck says it is natural for the female to relax and have a good time and let the man lead. Well, I don't know if it's natural, but a lot of women do want that in dating. So then Cosmic Shy says a guy calm under pressure equals hot. You're right. You're right, Cosmic Shy. That is hot. And I think most women would agree. I'm gonna give that 99% chance that, or I'm going to say 99% of women, I'm betting, will agree. So, John Brown says, do you think women get overwhelmed when it comes to online dating since they can get dozens, hundreds, or thousands of matches? Does that give them a fear of missing out? Um, it doesn't like give them, I don't think it like gives them a fear of missing out. I think they're trying to find the best kind of like partner they can and they're kind of sorting through these guys. But I don't really feel like I've ever heard any girl kind of say she has a fear of missing out. Like, I don't know exactly what you would mean by that. Like, I know that's kind of like maybe more of a male fear. Like, oh, I don't want to settle down and like maybe have a chance to have sex with one of these like thousands of matches. Not that men are always getting thousands or are getting thousands of matches, but I've never heard anyone say like it gives them a fear of missing out. It's more like a fear of, well, it's not even a fear. It's like they're trying to find the best mate, in my opinion. Um, so Cosmic Shy says, not a manager, but a leader. Everyone can be a manager, but not everyone can be a good leader. Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know if like I don't really think like you have to be born a leader. I feel like a manager could become a leader, but what do you think, Cosmic Shy? So, Nai Podum says, I saw some vids from channels Manosphere and Kevin Samuels. I knew most modern women were crazy, but I didn't suspect the magnitude is so huge. Are we doomed? Well, I don't think modern women are crazy at all. Like, I probably disagree with a lot of you guys, but I think it's actually very smart of them to try to be selective in who they pick for, sex and mating. It's important. It's important to pick carefully, pick wisely, and pick the best guy you can, and for men to step up. So I don't know why you think modern women are crazy, but feel free to share. Hello, Anders from Sweden. So hello, QQ. Just wanted to stop by and say hello. Have a great weekend. Thank you for stopping by, QQ. So Smitty says, I told a woman I had just met that she was Superwoman, but not extremely directly, and she told me to wait there, and then she came back to me with her name and number on a slip of paper. Sounds like it worked, Smitty, but it might be a bit risky to tell a woman she's Superwoman because in general, women don't want to feel like, you know, they're Superwoman and you're just kind of like a passerby. They kind of want to feel like you're Superman and they're Lois Lane when it comes to dating. But she might have just been like really flattered by the compliment. But it can be a bit risky to kind of compare her to some kind of like uber woman because in a way it's kind of placing her as like this, it's placing her in like the masculine role in a way, which can be a turn off for some women in dating. So hello to Freak. So Nick says, I'm 22, male, single, never been on a date, and I honestly don't think I intend to in today's society. Love your work, by the way. So Nick, why at 22 would you never intend to go on a date? I don't get it at all. What's your reason? So some guys says, should I date a pretty girl that has no conversation? So do you mean you guys don't have good conversations? But I think you should date her if you want to. So Soren says, girl at my job has a BF. Was just me and her today working. She would stare at me, and multiple times throughout the day, I witnessed her grabbing her breast. Why? Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Um, To make things more interesting, she was gossiping to her friend about how I saved her number in my phone. WTF. Okay, Soren. So sorry to break it to you, but she wasn't grabbing her breasts to flirt with you. Okay? That's a very non-subtle way for a woman to flirt. Like they're not doing it. They're not doing it. Okay? A lot of times women touch their breasts throughout the day because it's just like they're running their hands over their body, but it's not the way they're gonna flirt. Okay, that's way too what's the word? That's way too overt. That's way too intense for a woman to flirt. If a woman most women would be like deathly afraid of such an intense flirting style, like such an outwardly sexual, aggressive flirting style. I mean, most women, when they're flirting, they're making eye contact, they're looking down, they're looking back up at you, they're giving you like a coy smile, maybe like a little touch. They're not just going to grab their breasts and like thrust them like in your face, like as much as maybe this is going through some of you guys' heads. Because I do get a lot of comments like this where it's like, I noticed a woman like rubbing like her lower stomach, like, was she so turned on by the thought of me she was masturbating and, like, no, no, like, it's not happening. So, um, the thing about gossiping to her friend about how I saved her number in your phone, that could be a good sign, but I wouldn't be all, like, WTF about it and, like, why, because it sounds like you're getting way too excited about something you're making up in your mind. It's possible she's interested in you, but the grabbing the breast thing, just forget that, please. So, yeah. Um, and also in this situation, if you like her, if you think she likes you, please do us all a favor, ask her out. Um, Especially if she already has your number. So yeah. Um, Ramsey says, "Hey Victoria, what's the difference between being aggressive and being masculine?" Good question, Ramses. Well, I mean, I think masculine, I mean, who even knows what that means? But I mean, it's just like a made up word, is it not? It just basically means like whatever people want it to mean. Like probably 100 different people have like 100 different definitions of masculine, but there's some traits we can probably all agree on are like deemed as more masculine. But I think being aggressive, is going to be seen by some people as masculine. And I think it is, but it's not like you have to be aggressive to be a man or anything like that. But okay, let me just see what like you're really asking. So it's like I think you're maybe like asking like what's a good level of aggressive to be like as a man? Like I feel like that might be maybe what is a better question. Like how much is too much? How much is like too intense? I don't know. Let me know, Ramses. So Darth Ty says, does size really matter? I hear so many women say size matters, but all the girls I've been with say I'm so big, but honestly, I'm not that big. What's your view? Well, a lot of girls are going to use you're so big as kind of like dirty talk. Like, even if the guy isn't big, they're going to say you're so big because that's like a surefire level one dirty talk line. Do you know what I mean? Every guy's going to love that. Um, So, yeah. I mean, the fact that they're saying it though means that they're turned on by you, they like you, and they think you're sexy, and they like your dick, pretty much, usually. Whether you're actually big or not, just forget that. Does size really matter? I mean, you're proof that it doesn't really, like, you're saying you're not that big, but the girls are saying you're big, and they're, like, all dirty talking you and, like, wanting to be with you, so it doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying? I mean, let's be honest, like, for some people, it's gonna matter. For some people, they're just not gonna be able to do, like, really small. For some people, their kink is being a size queen, and they're just gonna want, like, the bigger the better. For most girls, they're so much more important than dick size, but it is a positive thing for many. For some, it's not because it just won't fit, as I've talked about before. But yeah, I mean, that's not what makes sex good. Okay, it can add to sex, but there's that's like the cherry on top kind of thing, and there's a world, a universe of other things which matter far more. So, Andy PDX says, and what are your thoughts, Darth, on what I just said? Andy PDX says, "Hello, I love your content. I was just curious why you feel the way you do about Jordan Peterson. Curious about your thoughts. Thanks." Okay, well, I probably shouldn't have lashed out at him, but I long time ago I listened to this interview with him with Sam Harris. If you guys know him, I thought he was like quite annoying, and I thought Sam Harris was like taking him down quite well. And I don't know, he just reminded me of all the philosophy professors like I had at my college who just kind of like live in this world of kind of like reading far too deeply into books and just spinning all these elaborate theories just to kind of like promote their own views on the topic that, these things aren't even like in the books. I experienced that so much. And then um I kind of like I flipped through his like 12 rules for life in a bookstore. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like these are his rules for life. Like, let me read them. They were so basic. Um, I don't understand why people like the book. I'm like, these things could not be more like obvious Instagram wisdom. And then to put the cherry, and then I started seeing some TikToks of him where he was kind of like saying some good stuff. I'm like, maybe he's not so bad after all. Maybe I misjudged him. But then my boyfriend showed me this tweet he made about like the plus size Sports Illustrated model, and I'm just like, okay, that's the final straw. Like this dude, I'm sorry, like that was just so obnoxious, uncalled for, and I'm just gonna say beta as fuck. So I don't like him. Do you like him, Andy? And what do you guys think of Jordan Peterson? Oh, another thing about Jordan Peterson, like everybody in my comment section, they're always writing in, I think what you meant to say is the secret to female attraction is Beauty and the Beast. Like she wants to tame the beast and like make her, her prey or something or her possession. And that's what Jordan Peterson says. I'm like, well, it makes no sense and it's stupid because that's not actually what women feel. And like a lot of the stuff he seems to say about like female attraction, like I just don't agree with. I'm like, bro, like you don't get it because that's actually not how it feels at all. And this is just so far off. And then I don't know if Jordan Peterson said this, but like a lot of people always write to me and they're like, there are five archetypes that women are attracted to, and that's pirates, billionaires, firefighters, monsters, and I forget what the other, I don't even think those are it, but I'm like, wow, brilliant. Like those are the only five female fantasies? No. So it's just ridiculous. But to be honest, I have not done some in-depth viewing and reading of his books and his videos. So let me know what you guys think. Why do you like him? And yeah. So Nye says, and hello, why am I love? And Nye says, I don't think all modern women are crazy, but most are. I think that because of my own experience as well as from my male friends, which all agree about it. You can make a poll to test it right now. Well, I don't know what to say to this because just because like you get together with your male friends, be like bitches be crazy. That doesn't mean like they actually are, but please let me know like a specific experience which convinced you they're crazy, and then I will address it. So the freak says, "Hey yo, touching breasts is like second base already." Breasts, yeah, yeah. I don't think some girl is just gonna be like touching her breasts in front of you unless she's at a strip club, and then she most certainly will. So yeah. Um, Darth says, masculine is holding back emotion but not being timid. Hmm. Well, I think you can be very masculine to be emotional, but I can see what you're saying. Like, yeah, okay, maybe, all right. I will go with this. Yes, aggressive is a loss of control. Well, that I really don't agree with because a lot of times women want you to lose control because that's when they see the full extent of your power, the full turn up the decibel to like whatever, the full glory, the full force of your power and strength, the loss of control. That's what they want. That's what's like peak hotness at the right moment. If you guys remember my runway analogy, this is going to be right at the top of the runway and only at the top of the runway. But it's definitely not non masculine to be aggressive and lose control. So why am I says, what is milking? Not sure where you're going with that. Why am I? But let me know. So, okay, Ramsey said I was right. So, like, what's the difference between what's the right level of like aggression? Well, Ramsey, it's really gonna depend because different women are gonna like different levels of aggression at different times. Like, for example, me, I don't want my boyfriend to be angry and aggressive at all with me outside, like for real. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want him to get mad at me. I don't want him to yell at me. I don't want him to do what a lot of my commenters think, be like, sit down and let's have this argument and you're not going anywhere and stuff like that. Like, none of that, no. But in the bedroom, yes, I want him to be aggressive, but in a playful way, not in a truly abusive and violent way, in a way that's done for my pleasure, in a way that's not done to hurt me, in a way that just basically role plays, if you will, acts out masculine aggression. Why? Because it's a hot. Why? Because it shows that you have the genetic capability to succeed in life. Why? Because you're seeing proof of it in front of your eyes. Damn, this guy could really pull it off in real life, couldn't he? He's just kind of, it's like big cats, like puppy, like tiger kittens when they fight with each other, right? It's like they're not really fighting, they're play fighting. It's playful, right? But at the same time, you know that they're kind of like practicing for the real thing. And you know that they could actually pull it off when they have to like kill a gazelle or whatever. So the playful demonstration of it with a girl who's into it, like I am, is probably the hottest thing you can do. Now, not every girl is into it as much, but like I always tell you guys, when you read romance novels written by women, they all have a little flavor of that. All their heroes have a little flavor of that, for sure. And women find it attractive. I'm not saying every single one, but large pattern, they're going to like it. However, how do you know when it's too far? Well, that's going to be up to her. Like, what's not enough for me is going to be too much for another girl. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to discuss these things, and you have to get a sense of what she's into and how much she wants. And she'll probably tell you, do it harder, do it more. You can be more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So just ask. Feel it out. So I like what you said, Donovan. Assertive and humble. Great combination. I really like that. I like it a lot, what you said. Just those two words together, so good, so good. Cosmic Shy says, if they're willingly in bed with you, just enjoy her. If she's there, she's happy. I definitely agree with your first sentence, but then if she's there, she's happy. I wouldn't assume. I wouldn't assume she's happy. I would try to focus on making her happy, though. Cosmic Shy says, spoil her and she won't regret it. Okay, I like what you said there. Indeed, I like that. So then Rosen XZ says, for some reason, I'm subscribed and this popped up. Haha. Hilarious. So Darth says, wow, thanks. I love your perspective on topics. Very logical. Thank you, Darth. So SJK says, as always, thanks for these. Question, what's the right move for a guy when a girl is at the edge of the vortex? How does a guy push her across the edge? Good question. Well, you would want to. I think a good way to do that might be calling her out on it. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure. That could be good though. That could increase like the pressure. If you kind of like point out that you see it, kind of risky. You could just keep doing what you're doing. You could kind of tell her something else that you know gets her down to the vortex to kind of just pile on. But I mean, let's be real. What are we talking about here? So basically, you're saying when a girl's kind of like secretly turned on and you've kind of like turned her on by something you're doing, how do you make her like so turned on that she kind of gets like horny past the point of no return and she's just like, yeah, let's go back to your place now? Um, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna depend on the situation. I don't know if there's just like one foolproof way. You're gonna have to keep kind of like making her more and more turned on. Keep doing what you're doing. I mean, if you got her on the edge of the vortex, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I can't like say what's gonna. There's just so many different like possibilities there, so I don't really know if I can just give like one answer. A lot of guys on that video, they were like, Victoria, how can I like push a girl deep down into the vortex, like so far down she suffocates and like never comes out? I'm like, oh my dear Lord, please do not say it like that. I'm not saying you're saying it like that at all, but it's like people are just asking, like, how do I like stuff her down in the vortex and keep her there? I'm like, um, please don't put it like that. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like, how do you like push her past the point of no return? I don't really know. I mean, it's gonna be up to her really to decide. Like, she's turned on. Does she want to have sex with you? DeFreak says, I think Jordan is brilliant when he's focused on what he should be talking about. And what should he be talking about? Then Luke says, I think he's too intelligent for you. Okay, yeah, maybe he's too intelligent for me, and that's why I just can't comprehend why he has to like fat shame just like a beautiful plus size model. Um, Taser says, I hate that guy. Why do you hate him, Taser? Ralph Furley says, Jordan Peterson is so so. He was better 10 years ago in his university class recordings. I don't like JP the last few years. So why not, Ralph? Dar says, JP seems cool. I'm sure he's a good person, but a very controversial outlook. So what is his controversial outlook, Darth? So Cosmic Shy says, I do agree on firefighter. Oh, I forgot. Cosmic Shy, are you a girl? I forgot about that. Um, Let me know because I remember. I think that actually you are. I forgot. Yeah, I agree on firefighters. They're good. They're quite hot. Supposedly they know it too, and like women just throw themselves at them all the time. Pretty interesting. So, Dar says most of my relationships with women were great, even some crazy ones. Indeed, got a lot of guys like the crazy. So Anton says, how can I catch a girl's attention at work? I feel like coming up to a girl and trying to talk to her makes my intentions to establish something obvious, and I guess that's a turnoff nowadays. Well, Anton, maybe these guys can advise you because I don't really know about like the workplace too much, since that's yeah, I haven't really had many normal jobs in the workplace. So okay, Ramses, I hope that helped you. Did that make sense to you? Let me know your thoughts. So Hugh Holdjaw says, what does it mean when a woman says she can't figure it out? I mean, why even bother telling me that? Well, that's usually a good sign if a woman says that. If she says, I just can't figure you out. It's basically like a flirting line, to be honest. I think it means like she has a little bit of interest in you because most women are not going to say, like, this is such a line straight out of a rom com, you know? It's like, you come off as mean and aggressive, but deep down, you're a big softy. Like, I just can't figure you out. There's something mysterious and puzzling about you. So I think that's a good sign. Um, what do you think, like, the paradox is in your personality? Um, so Sanjit says, what do you think about treating girls like a kid? Okay, so yeah, a lot of guys also comment this on my channel and they're just like, so you're saying women are children and like you should treat them like a child. And I'm like, oh my God. But like at the same time, it can be good in a way if you don't think of it in like this negative, bitter, angry way. It actually is a good idea to, it's better to treat girls like a kid rather than it is to treat them like your bro that you play like video games with. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get way farther treating a girl like you're, you know, the daughter who you love so much and who's like your pride and joy. Um, and yet you still have that dominant, fatherly, masculine vibe. I'm not saying just like throw yourself at her and kind of in a kind of like unconfident beta way. You still have to, but you know how like fathers, they're kind of like in control. They kind of have your best interest at heart. They're protective, and yet they're kind of nurturing. They're complimentary, but they're still kind of like the leader. So if you can treat women like that, that can be a very, very effective way of kind of like creating a personality that women will like. Um, if you guys watch my videos, some of them like DDLG, soft dom, gentle dom, that's kind of treating girls like, a little girl. It's maybe sounds bad, but more like, a teen daughter or something. But it makes you take more of like the kind of like masculine dominant leader role, but not in a obnoxious way, in a nurturing, positive way. So, as I told you guys on this channel before, a lot of girls are into DDLG. A lot of girls want to be treated in this way. So it can be a very, very good strategy. In fact, one of the best, one of the most effective for sure, in my opinion. But it doesn't mean like lash out at them and call them like a child. So, um, so Dar says, do you think women care whether a man is a pro fighter or not? Is it something they would be turned off by? I think most women would be turned on by that, subconsciously or consciously. Dar says, I love your answer. By the way, could you say masculine is being in control of your emotions, not holding them back? Um, I don't know, Darth, because I think it's quite masculine, like if a guy just like lets loose, like I was saying. I mean, I was kind of like thinking about making a video about this. I was talking with my boyfriend about this recently, where it's like there's like a good masculine, and then there's kind of like masculine. You could call it divine masculine, and then you could call it infernal masculine. Do you know what I'm saying? Where divine masculine is all these like good masculine qualities, like you're in control, you're a leader, you're alpha, you're confident, you're not too humble. And guess what? Then there's the rest of men, and they're still masculine. Do you know what I'm saying? As much as like they're not being necessarily like chosen by women to have sex, they still come off as masculine and their qualities are still masculine. So if a kind of like weak beta male just like rages, that's masculine. He's masculine. Um, and it comes off as masculine. However, is it like this perfect, most effective form of masculine for getting women? Not necessarily, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have some attraction. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. So then Cosmic Shy says, yes, I am indeed a chica. Amazing, Cosmic Shy. Thank you for reminding me of that. So we will get your opinion on these topics as well. Please chime in because this is quite invaluable to have a second opinion here. So, um, so SJK says, how long can girls stay at the edge of the vortex? Are we talking minutes or days? Um, I mean, they could be, like, there for hours. Like, if you've ever been like, I know you're not a girl, but, like, as a girl on a date, you could be, like, super turned on while you're talking to the guy for, like, the whole date, and then be kinda, like, hoping he kisses you at the end of it, and you're kind of, like, at the edge of the vortex the whole time. You could be turned on for, like, days if you're, like, staying with the guy, like, you're camping with him in a tent, like, you're just turned on the whole time, and he doesn't, like, know it, you know? It's interesting because I feel like guys just assume the girl would, like, be like, "Hello, I'm quite turned on right now, would you like to have sex?" But girls aren't gonna do that, they're gonna stay at the edge of the vortex, secretly camouflaging it most of the time. Would you agree, Cosmic Shy? Most girls are, like, quite afraid to walk up to a guy and say, like, "Let's fuck." Do you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna say that, like, 99.999% of girls are not gonna say that, they're gonna be, if you will, at the edge of the vortex, camouflaging their turn on. So Gabriel Dufour says, what do you say about women intrigued and turned on by a man and the one who really want to build something with them? So it's like some women might be just intrigued and turned on, and then others might really want to build something with him, like being in a long term relationship. Is let me know, Gabriel. So then Sanjit says, I understand about the kid thing. For me, it's always a positive. Taking the decision making away, leading, protecting, putting in place, done this way, it's a positive. Indeed, Sanjit. Seems like that's going to be quite effective in many situations. It's a good one, for sure. So Christian says, Jordan Peterson's thinking is often very basic. However, he's always at least trying to show good faith and intellectual honesty. Hmm. How do you think it's like basic, Christian? I'm interested. So then AA says, is saying add a girl a form of DDLG? Absolutely. It 100% is a form of DDLG. You could use it in other kind of like dirty talk personas, but 95% of the time, that's going to be basically a form of DDLG. It's something like girls hear a lot when they're younger from kind of like dad types. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it still has like a lot of power because it kind of brings back this persona that's kind of been lost in their aging. So it kind of brings back these feelings of freedom and unconditional love and kind of being like adored and praised. So, yeah, that's a huge turn on for a lot of girls, similar to like good girl, a girl, that kind of thing. It's kind of like patronizing in a way too. It's kind of like violating in a way as well. Just like good girl. And that's the other side of DDLG. It's like slightly violating, slightly patronizing. And for many, that's an essential part of it. That's kind of like the taboo part of it that just makes you come. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, very good question and very powerful saying. So, Christian says he's also good when talking to people who disagree with him. He usually maintains an attitude of respect and openness. His main concern seems to be his perception, which many share. That something important has been lost in Western culture. He puts a lot of importance on the value of beauty in art and in general. As expressed in the documentary Why Beauty Matters, that's the context of his ill advised, that's not beautiful tweet. Very interesting, Christian. I did not know that context. Interesting. Thank you for that great explanation. So, maybe I should check that documentary out. So, Ralph says, you just perfectly described what I call father frame. And in my experience, it works perfectly. A father isn't condescending to his daughter, girlfriend. He's supportive, but is the leader. Indeed. Indeed, Ralph. So, the freak says, we can find hundreds of reasons to talk ourselves out of approaching. If this woman friend isn't in our daily workplace, you're in a lot better position. Good point. Oh, and so then Cosmic Shy agrees with what Ralph says, saying he hit the nail on the head, basically, and giving him a love react. So, yep, women agree with you, Ralph. At least two. So, Dar says, love this chat and we'll be back again. Thanks, Victoria. And I guess with the JP thing, he says things in a way that seems offensive. All right, bye, Darth. See you soon. Like when he says, why won't these women just behave? Oh, God, that doesn't sound good. Hello, Jen Marie. Okay, we've got a third woman entering the chat. Excellent, excellent. Um, so Tubular Bill says guys are told not to compliment women, at least overly compliment. Yeah, and I feel like it's very, 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 very dangerous advice. While they're right in some ways that you can compliment a woman in the wrong way or just a simply ineffective way by not complimenting at all, it's basically like you're cutting off your dick, basically. Like, that's kind of what it's like. If you're not able to express attraction to a woman you're dating, if you're not able to basically tell her she's beautiful, and compliment like specific things about her, I'm sorry, but like a huge part of what you have to offer a woman is lost. What do you guys think, Jen Marie and Cosmic Shy? Am I right? If a guy never complimented you, if a guy never expressed attraction to you, sexual, physical, mental, soulful, like, could you be with him? Like, could you be attracted to him? Because I could not. So let me know. That's why I've been thinking lately, this is like quite dangerous advice, and I need to make a video about this. At least my thoughts. And I was thinking, like, I have some profiles on some sites where I receive like tons of messages. So I was thinking I could kind of like analyze the kinds of compliments that are good and the kinds of compliments that are bad. And then also from my experience when I was dating. But yeah, I mean, you can do it wrong and you can do it right. But if you don't do it at all, good luck. Good luck to you. So Eon Star says, in what way is a good way to lose control without crossing the line, or is the whole point to cross the line? So basically, I think it's best done sexually with someone who is into it. So if a girl expresses that she's into dominance, if she's into masculinity, if she's into, then you can kind of like play with it in the bedroom. But I wouldn't be trying this basically in public, on dates. It's too risky. It's more of like a kink, but a very widespread kink. It's showing the true power of masculinity and of aggression, but it's best done in a sexual context with someone who enjoys it, you know? So, Cosmic Shy says, "Lol, you nailed it, non leather." Damn it, Cosmic Shy, what was that in response to? Because I am now behind. So, Tubular Bill says, "Men have been told that we are not to compliment, for that turns women off, which always seems counterintuitive to me." Exactly, Tubular Bill. It is counterintuitive because it's not 100% correct. So Anton says, "Does a bit of acne scare a girl away in your opinion?" No, it does not. That is not going to scare a girl away. It's a very like masculine thing, isn't it? I think like acne is often caused by like testosterone. So don't worry about acne. It's not going to scare it away. In high school and college, the guy I actually got the term the vortex from, like, not that he made up the concept, but we used to call him the vortex because he was so attractive to women that whenever he kind of sat next to them, girls just kind of got like sucked in and just got like so obsessed. He wasn't a good looking guy at all, and he had tons of acne scars and acne on his face. And it didn't matter because everything else about him he did so well. So yeah. Um so then let's see. Um So SJK says, "Call me crazy, but I think sexual tension is oftentimes better than actual sex." Well, I think it's basically integral to sex. Like, um, I in the past did kind of like erotic story writing, kind of did that. And I kind of noticed like that if you just go right to the sex, it's not sexy. There has to be some kind of tension in order to make somebody orgasm, basically. So it's really important. If you just go straight to sex, you guys just enter the room, you get down the bed, one person sticks it in, you come. Eh, it might feel good for like a little bit, but it could be so much more. It could be so much more stimulating psychologically, mentally, physically, with more tension, more buildup, more setting, more story, and more conflict. So yeah, I agree with you. And that's from me who actually like really likes just actual sex. Like a lot of girls like actual sex, like, less, I'd say, because I'm, like, on the extreme hypersexual side of, like, the spectrum. So for them, sexual tension is even more important. So, yeah. Um, oh, here we go, Cosmic Shy. Yes, the sexual tension, for example, in a movie, in my opinion, is way more satisfying than seeing the sex. It's the game of back and forth and pursuit. Great point, Cosmic Shy, great point. Yeah, some of those moments in a movie that are kind of like leading up to it are where all the heat is contained, 100%. So, MG says, when, um, MG says, we need to hear more Daddy Dom stuff. We need an ebook course. You know who could do it? Beardo, my boyfriend. He could write the best one out there, but he won't. So, yeah. I can just take notes from what he does, but he is the true master at that 100%. But if you guys want a private session with him, he will teach you guys. So if you guys want to email me, my nonlittlerlife@gmail.com, we do him $60 an hour. We can go over usually, but he can teach you guys some real skills because he's a master. And I know because I've heard a lot of other guys try to do the same. And let's just be real, they're not as good by any stretch of the imagination. So, just my opinion. Um, and then AA says, "Can I hire for private talks? If your BF wants to be involved, I'm cool with that." Absolutely. My nonlittlerlife@gmail.com. Just email me, we'll set it up. So Matrix has you, Neo says, "I've never been to a strip club and I wonder if it has to do with my lack of sex positiveness. I wonder if going sometime would help with that." Yeah, Matrix, has you, Neo. I think it could help with that. I really do. They're really fun places if you tip well. And not even you don't have to tip well, you just have to tip appropriately. But if you do that, then they are very fun places. And yeah, I mean, most people do not grow up with a sex positive attitude. I mean, my parents never said anything negative about sex, but they weren't sex positive. I don't think like anyone's parents are. I mean, except like very rare people who are, mothered or fathered by some kind of like sex therapist or something. So it's really normal. And a lot of people come into the strip club with a very sex negative attitude. So I do think you should go. It's really fun. It's really beautiful and it's very entertaining. And I think it might help you just to be exposed to strippers' sex positivity. Because they're kind of like an elite few women in society who truly are, I mean, not all of them, because some of them still have sadly many sex negative attitudes, but most of them are kind of like removed enough from society, have kind of just like broken free, and they are sex positive. So yeah. Um. Oh yeah. So Cosmic Shy says compliments count across the board. You tell him, Cosmic Shy. Um. So then Jen Marie says, "No, I couldn't be attracted either without compliments. I'd feel taken for granted if not complimented at least once in a while." Same, Jen Marie. Same, Jen Marie. I cannot do it, and I actually rejected people that I liked. This one guy in particular I'm thinking of, I really liked him, but I could tell that he was just never gonna compliment me, and I just couldn't take it. So I broke up with him, and then we remained, like, very close friends throughout the years, and I saw him date a lot of other girls, and he never complimented them either. And it was really sad because these girls would get, like, really obsessed with him. He wouldn't say anything nice. Nothing. And he was insecure, to be honest. Like, he for some reason, like, wouldn't express positive things about, like, other people, and I just felt really bad for the girls I didn't really understand what was going on with him. Like, I mean, I just feel like it could have made his relationship so much happier, but he wouldn't. And he wasn't doing it to try to like get girls. And I mean, maybe that's part of why the girls kind of like stuck around for so long, but eventually they just broke up with him and they were kind of like annoyed with him. Like, why did I waste my time with him? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my boyfriend now is like so complimentary. Like, I'm gonna show you guys this video, um, which I felt was like exactly like how my boyfriend acts, and I want to show you guys. Um, yeah, damn it. Hopefully, I find it. Hmm. All right, maybe I'll have to find it for you later. But basically, it was this guy, and he was like just every time his girlfriend came to the room, he would just be like, "Damn, you look so gorgeous today. Oh my god, like you look like a goddess and everything." And he just did it in this really great masculine way, and I'm like, "That's exactly how my boyfriend acts with me," and that's like why our relationship is so awesome because he compliments me, he makes me feel good, and I feel so much like love and appreciation for him, and I just hype him up too. So it's like a beautiful virtuous circle, like you're a team and you're both like supporting each other. So anyway, the pie life. I like these. Thanks. How do I help a younger partner, 5 years difference, understand that my sexual intimacy with other people doesn't diminish my love for her? Or do you think it's a personality difference? So I guess you guys are poly, or are you just like cheating on her? I mean, if she's not poly, it might be hard for her to wrap the head around. Um, and if she's not like really secure enough with herself, she might not be ready to accept this. Most people are very into the idea of monogamy, and you have to like let go of that to understand this kind of thing, and most people don't want to let go of it. So, yeah. Tell me more about the actual situation here. So, Matrix has Unio says, I feel like you're right in that men lose out on opportunity because we're focused on the ideal pure woman. I've heard it before that alpha better accepts the deep sexual craving in women. Yes, Matrix has Unio. I agree. Like, I really agree. When men are focused on the ideal pure woman, I'll be 100% honest with you. To me, it's like the beta is just like seeping off that guy. Like I just get like instant insecurity, like instant not confident enough to handle it. Like I don't know, like real confident guys who get women are sex positive. They like sex, they want sex, and they appreciate sex from women, not just from virgins. I mean, I don't know. I agree with that. Like, also, like when I worked at the strip club, I always noticed that like the guys who came into the strip club and everyone liked them. The owner liked him, the bartenders liked him, the strippers liked him, the other guys in the strip club liked him. Like some people just came in and they just like everyone loved him. That really taught me a lesson because it kind of taught me a lot about like different attitudes that people go through life and how it can like affect how people perceive you. And I always noticed that the people who other people responded to and liked the best had this sex positive attitude. They had a very accepting and positive attitudes towards the strippers, towards women, towards everybody. And it was just such a stark contrast to guys who came in with a lot of sex negative attitudes posturing, trying to show off, trying to put down the woman and say, "Oh, you're too good to be working here. Let me take you on a real date. You shouldn't be working here. Like, I'm upset that you're doing this." I mean, those guys just came off as like weak and insecure to everyone. Like, it was just obvious. So I don't really know what the fundamental thing going on there is, but I agree. I feel that alpha guys always have a sex positive attitude. So, yeah. What do you guys think about that? Cosmic Shy says, I meant you nailed it on getting her over the edge of the vortex. Oh, wow. So, Gabriel Dufour says, yes, I meant about relationships. I wondered if it is possible to know up front where a woman is at. Is she just intrigued, turned on sexually, or when you've reached the potential of being a long term mate? Um, well, sometimes if a girl sees you as like a long term thing, she'll want to take it slower with you, ironically, because she wants to make sure you see her basically as the ideal pure woman because most women know that a lot of men are not sex positive and they have this idea, which is accurate for many men, that men will look down on them if they have sex too soon. So they want to be seen as, wife material. So that can be a sign that she sees you as long term mate if she is taking it slow and not having sex with you and not wanting to get physical too soon. So yeah. So Ralph says, I only compliment women when they look slash act extraordinary. About once a month. I've done very well with women in the last 37 years. I don't compliment them in ordinary situations. Well, I feel that's a bit stingy with the praise, Ralph, but to each his or her own. So Blue Fig says, do you like it when a man says, that dress looks nice on you? If you are wearing a dress, of course. I'm wondering if that comes off simpish or not. Well, Bluefig, great question, great question. I think that's kind of a lukewarm compliment to say that dress looks nice on you. Like I feel a lot of guys make this mistake to be like, "Oh, you look cute" or something. Like I would go for more like a wow, like you look stunning. I feel like that comes off a lot more confident and a lot better than that dress looks nice on you. I don't know. It's just kind of it's like it's just too lukewarm. It's just, are you gonna compliment her or not? Are you attracted or not? Do you think she looks hot or not? So I would go for a more like genuine reaction. Like if she comes out in the dress and you're like, damn, she looks sexy in that dress. Say something like, you look sexy in that dress. Like you look so sexy. I mean, it depends on it. Is this a first date? Or is this your girlfriend? Or is this a coworker? Of course, but these lukewarm compliments are not good in my opinion. It's just, what do you guys think, Jen Marie and oh darn it, she just left, and Cosmic Shy? So, Ralph says, when I do compliment, it's 100% genuine and from the heart. I don't just throw out compliments out of obligation. It feels cheap. Well, that's good, Ralph. Yeah, don't lie and don't do it out of obligation. But hopefully, like, you see genuine things to compliment in people more than once a month. But you do you, Ralph, because as he said, you did very well and are doing well. So, goodbye, Jen Marie. So Gabriel says, and for ugly men being attractive, watch a photo of Rene Levesque. He is a real Austin Power kind of guy. He hooked up more women than everyone here without being very attractive physically. Absolutely, Gabriel. Like I've always known, an ugly guy could hook up with tons of women if he knew the right attitude. So I never bought into this whole you must like looks are the only thing that matters, which also a lot of people the black pillars comment on my channel. So Yeah, I'll check him out though. Rene Levesque. I'll copy that right now so I can paste it later. All right. So, Cosmic Shy says, I think it's the delivery and how you say it and your body language during the delivery. I think you're talking about compliments, and I agree, Cosmic Shy. You're probably right. That's what it is all about. Cosmic Shy says, maybe you look gorgeous in that dress with a big, sweet smile, but that's just me. Not just you, Cosmic Shy. That's pretty much what I just said as well. You don't want this lukewarm compliment. You look gorgeous. Much better. Much better. I agree with you. So, Tron1 says, how about that dress would look better if you were dancing with me? Not too bad, not too shabby, Tron1. I like it. So Hi says strip clubs are fun. DeFreak says strip clubs are overrated. I wonder why. Um, well, I think strip clubs are underrated personally, but Anton says since there's a few questions about compliments, what compliments are overrated? Like complimenting eyes and stuff equal cheesy? Great question, Anton. Well, I would say, like, complimenting a smile, I really don't like that. I hate that so much. Um, yeah, so don't say like, "Oh, you've got a beautiful smile." I mean, some girls might like it, but like I said in one of my videos about the masks, it's almost like a microaggression for some girls, so I wouldn't do it. Eyes, again, kind of generic, but it's a good one. It's a good one. Do not cross that out. It is generic. I think you could do a bit better. Um, so what compliments are overrated? Let's see what else. Well, yeah, I guess eyes and smile. Those are like the main ones. Like the main compliments I used to get, people would say like nice hair, nice eyes, nice smile. Yeah, hold on a second. Um, what else? Um, I think like saying you look cute. That's overrated for sure. You look nice. That's overrated for sure. Um, what else? Specific compliments are underrated. Specific compliments about her personality, I'd say those are underrated. Specific compliments about her style, I'd say those are underrated. Or about the way she presents herself. Um, I saw a good compliment today on TikTok that someone said was the best compliment she ever got. You are art. See, that's kind of like what style can do, is it's like the way you present yourself says a lot about your personality. So I feel like these specific things about who she is as a person, those are underrated. Guys do not often go there. They're just very focused on, the looks. So I would say personality compliments are underrated. Um, yeah. But you guys write in the comments if you don't mind some compliments you might think to give a girl, and then I'll tell you if they are overrated or underrated. So, great question. Um, DeFreak says you go down well is a good start. Lol. Ugh, DeFreak. What can I say? So then MSA says, yes, late to the party, but glad I'm here. Happy Wednesday. Had an awesome encounter today. This girl came into my work and chatted me up, then asked for my number. My instinct is to just message. Very cool, MSA. Oh, message back and see where things go. Love to hear your input. Well, MSA, I was just reading this chapter in Corey Wayne, which I agreed with. He tells you to like wait 3 days, basically. I agree. It can be effective. It can make her, like, intensify her desire for you because she's kind of sitting there thinking, "Oh my god, like, is he just not gonna call at all? Did he not like me? Oh my god. Oh god, I really wish, like, he will call. Do you think he will call? Yes. Oh my god. No, he still hasn't texted me. Oh, what's wrong with me?" And then you text her and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited. Yes, let me text him back." so it can increase the attraction a little. However, lots of guys can increase the attraction by just messaging right back. That works too. You don't always have to wait 3 days. I mean, if she gave you her number, she's probably attracted to you. She's probably interested in you already, so you don't need to amp up the attraction to like sky high levels. I like it when guys just message back too. There's other things you can do to make her see you as masculine and attractive. It doesn't have to be just the push pull game. So I just do what you feel. Weigh the pros and cons and go for it. So MSA says, thank you for your commitment to this channel. I love the content and outlook on life. Thank you, MSA. So Smitty says, some things he says get me to think about things I never spend time thinking about. But other times I'm thinking, where is he going with any of this? Is this about Jordan Peterson? So then Antonio says, hi, Victoria. Do you think the trend that women don't want to initiate is exclusively for their romantic and sexual relationships, or will that also apply to their male friendships? Great question, Antonio. Very interesting question. Yes, indeed. I think it will apply less to their male friendships, yeah, because I think like the trend of women don't want to initiate, that's to get you to see them as kind of like the pure princess that you must like break down walls for and prove your, dominant leadership qualities, break down her walls and like pursue and fight for her. That's kind of what they're going for when they want you to initiate. They want you to be dominant so they can be attracted to you. So in a male friendship though, they're kind of like, I already know he's maybe not the dominant guy from like my fantasies. I don't need him to be the dominant guy from my fantasies because I already like him and I'm already attracted to him for more reasons than just that. He already knows who I am, so I don't need to appear like mysterious and vulnerable and like busy and, booked. So, yeah, I think that with a male friendship, they're kind of just going to be like, let me just make a move. Because I already friend zoned this guy probably. So, yeah, I think you're really onto something there, Antonio, if that makes any sense. Your thoughts, Antonio? So, uh, so, the freak says, honestly, you're better off pointing out a flaw than a compliment, especially if a straight cold approach. Maybe it works better, but you're going to be turning off a lot of girls if you point out their flaws. Maybe we'll work on some young, insecure girls. Hello, Beardo.
Hey, are you doing live?
Yeah, do you want to join?
I guess. Let's join for a few minutes.
Okay. Surprise guest, guys.
You've been on this live for a while, huh?
Yeah, I have. Well, about an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, that's pretty
All right, guys. It's in. So
I feel like such a celebrity.
yeah. So if you guys have any questions for a master of certain intimate things, you can ask him. All right. Let's see.
I don't want to answer any questions unless they're tipping you, though. What's the minimum tip? Like $1? They can't spare you $1 to get their love life fixed.
Thanks, Dad. So one thing this guy is saying to freak. Honestly, you're better off pointing out a flaw than a compliment. Or they're kind of discussing right now. Well, I was kind of saying, like, is it okay to compliment? What compliments are good? What compliments are overrated? What compliments are underrated? Do you think that, like, somebody was saying, is it good to say, "Oh, that's a nice dress you're wearing," or something like that? I don't think that was exactly it, but yeah. And I was saying, oh yeah, like, don't say just this lukewarm compliment, like. And then another girl, Cosmic Shy over here, was saying, "Say you look gorgeous in that dress," rather than like, "That dress looks nice on you," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, do you agree with that? Because I was telling them, my boyfriend compliments me all the time,
Sure.
and he gets really like, like, just like, you're so beautiful and gorgeous.
Sure.
So you're not
Of course,
like,
we've been
oh,
together many years. Like, hopefully, I'm not negging you
yeah.
all those years, right?
Why? Because like I just wouldn't be with you if you always nagged me.
That, yeah, or like you wouldn't like being with me because I'm like always making you feel bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have a lot
Okay.
to say about this.
Good stuff.
The first thing is if this like negging approach is working for you, by all means keep doing it, right? But I mean that's not how I approached it, and so I don't really have much to teach you in a negging way. I don't really think it's the best way to do it anyway. As far as approaching with like a serious a more dramatic compliment, but I think that like when I see a lot of people talking about like simping, right? I think that there's a way to be complimentary without simping, and there's a way to be complimentary and you're simping, right? So holy crap.
This guy, he's amazing. He always tips me like so much. Thank you so much, B. What it is, 707.
Okay, so I was saying simping, right? So
We'll get to you next. All right.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
We'll do that one.
Okay, cool,
next.
cool.
Yeah. What is it even a question?
Yeah. Well, I guess not.
Not a question yet.
If you have any questions, write it in below. B. What it is, 707. Thank you.
Okay, so if you give a compliment and you appear confident, then you're going to have a lot better success than if you give a compliment and you appear like scared, right? So I think that there's a really big difference there, and maybe that's part of why like this negging approach is popular with some guys, is because it gives them the confidence that they have a hard time mustering without that. What do you think about that?
I zoned out for a second because I was just reading some of the chat. So sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I don't think that you need like an original line, when you make first contact, an approach or whatever. I think it's better, if you have something that's like appropriate to the situation, but I don't think you have to have some very elaborate line that you've like, scripted ahead of time. When I've seen, I can't remember if I've ever seen that in real life, but I've seen it, in videos and stuff like that. And like the more elaborate the approach, it just seems like less confident and less successful,
I know, for sure. Yeah, we've watched some pretty crazy videos of people trying to do good banter and like approaches, for sure.
So, I mean, what I did when I would approach a woman in a bar is I would just, walk up to her and it's like, oh, hey, can I buy you a drink? And then, she's kind of like obligated, if she accepts, obligated to talk to you while she finishes her drink at least. And, what does that cost you? $10 maybe. And it gives you that time to figure out if she's right for you, if you're right for her, if there's a connection or anything like that. So.
And would you compliment her during this chat?
Oh yeah, I'd be complimentary. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I wouldn't like just be complimentary. Like you have to talk and you have to ask questions and you have to, flirt or tease, all that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't shy away from compliments.
Mm-hmm. Good one. Well, great answer, David.
Oh, thanks.
Be what it is. 707. He says, going full feminine for your man. Much more educational than dating questions. Oh, okay. I think he's saying that when you came in, then I started acting more feminine, and that just picture speaks 1,000 words.
Right.
So is that right? Be what it is. Please fill us in. What do you think I did that, was more feminine? I'm not going to comment. No comment there because I don't want to.
You get all smiley. You get all girly.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. This is embarrassing. So, thank you so much. You are my biggest tip. Well, I'm pretty sure you're my biggest tipper. So, thank you so much.
Yeah.
He's always very, very, very generous.
Another thing about like a very simple approach is a lot easier to be more confident. If you really have some kind of performative thing that you've like cooked up, you're going to feel a lot more nervous.
Yeah, I know. For me, every time like I try to put on an act, I self-sabotage myself. I can't do it. Like it's just honesty or I just seem like the most insecure person alive because I'm just hemming and hawing. It's terrible. What are you looking at?
I'm not too familiar with the YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Live chat.
We got a question. Christian says, I'm very interested in the whole DDLG thing. Not sure how to develop that with these dates/girls. So, want to do it, not sure without being massively creepy. Well, being creepy is just a little part of it, so get used to that. But do you have any comments on that, David? Master of the game? Of the DDLG game?
Yeah. My advice is start small, right? You can start with just like the old school traditional.
Don't demonstrate on me.
Okay. Old school traditional, dating type behaviors, like opening doors, pulling out chairs, paying for things, and move forward into like. See, the funny thing about these traditional dating behaviors, all the way up to like insane stuff, like supposedly like you'd lay your cloak over a puddle so a woman wouldn't have to step in a puddle or whatever, right? If you've ever heard of that. I mean, I never wear a cloak, so I never had the chance to try it. But they all kind of like have this implication that the woman needs help doing these things, or she can't do them for herself, or it's like if you think about like if you maybe you and your girlfriend or whatever or your sister are like going to the airport and she has like a really heavy suitcase, right? You would carry her suitcase for her because it's actually too heavy for her to carry. But like opening a door for a woman, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like she can open her own doors, I'm sure. Like how did she get here if she can't open doors? But we do these kind of things, and it's casting you in the role of the person who's taking care of things, the person who's stronger, the person who's more capable. So it's kind of this subtle message of like, I'm the masculine one and you're the feminine one. I'm the strong one and you're the weaker one. And I'm gonna anything that takes strength or confidence or bravery or anything like that, I'm gonna do because I'm the man, and you're gonna be able to just like sit there and look pretty and be the woman.
Yeah, and can I add one thing to that?
Yep.
So I feel like that's kind of for a woman. It's like there's two types of guys in society, right? There's some guys who are kind of stuck in the past a little bit from a different time when like gender roles existed. And then there's some guys who are all like, whatever, I never learned that. That's weird. Equality, feminism, you pay for yourself. And I feel like women are kind of like, oh, maybe I got one of these old school guys on a date. And then being with one of those old school guys is kind of like a fantasy for women because it's almost like they're not like up to date, like they're not modern. They're actually still living in this kind of like caveman like world of traditional gender roles. And so if I date this guy, I'll have a chance to like behind closed doors experience what that's like.
Mm,
And so I'll have a chance to be like submissive with this guy because he really thinks this is like acceptable. Like
mhm,
he really thinks this is like how you do it. So it's kind of like they're like, maybe with this guy, I'll have a chance to kind of experience a little of that desired feeling of like being helpless, being protected, being taken care of, being like, weak and he's strong. Like everything you were saying, I'm just telling you from the girl's perspective. That's kind of what they're thinking when they go on a date with a guy like this.
mhm,
And so it's very like sexually attractive. So every time he's like doing these little things, you're kind of getting like turned on
mhm.
just a little bit.
Yeah. So then, like, you advance that forward, and then you're getting. I mean, you don't have to go this direction, but if you want to get into like DDLG territory, keep going forward from there. Like if she like hurts herself or whatever, you want me to kiss it, make it all better. Um, if she needs emotional support, she's upset about something, like you can really like act like a dad with a little girl, like oh, come here, like let me hold you, there, cry it all out, everything's gonna be okay, it's kind of stuff. And there's kind of like ways to do it that's DLG, and there's ways to do it that's not. And I mean, if you actually are a daddy, like it's actually, I think, not that hard to know what to do. It's more like awkward, and you're like, if I do this, is it going to be just like gross? Which is, I think, what part of what he was saying, like, without being too creepy, massively creepy. He says,
Yeah.
so that's why you start small and you keep, adding on.
Yeah. And just like when you were doing it just there, I kind of got like a little bit creeped out,
Mm, that's good.
but that's part of it. That's part of the turn on. Because, like I said earlier a little bit, being the creepy part is the taboo part, and the taboo part is the shocking part, and the shocking part is what makes you orgasm, basically. So, yeah. So, CB says, I found a major key which might help better than putting on a facade of confidence is tapping into self love and feeling sexy as a man. Truly embracing your masculine sex appeal brings confidence. Sometimes manifesting an act of confidence or putting on a show can drain your social battery, and sometimes you can run out of ideas in a convo if you're not engaged, though. Aim and feel best version of you. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like, putting on fake confidence is a tricky thing, so I think one suggestion I have about that is that calmness is similar to confidence, so like um just find a way to, like, take some breaths or whatever and calm everything down, and then you go into it, and that calm energy will seem almost exactly the same as confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, like we were watching Indian Matchmaker tonight, and we saw a guy, and his personality was like bland AF. but he had that calmness, and the girl was definitely into him on the first date, but then later decided he wasn't quite good enough to marry. But the calmness, I was trying to point out to him, like, see, I don't think a lot of guys would understand. This calmness is what is attracting this girl, you know?
Yeah. Stability, like being the rock.
Yeah. Andre says, have you ever thought about opening your own channel? You have good points of view.
I thought about it many, many times, mostly because Victoria's had so much success that I thought it would be cool to do a complimentary channel, and I set it up, and it's called Beardo Speaks, and it's actually got like over 200 subscribers, and so you guys have really stepped up and done that subscribing there, so I feel kind of obligated now to do some videos, but I just haven't quite gotten around to it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty amazing to start the channel. It doesn't even have any videos. It's already got 200, 250 subscribers. So yeah, I need to at least give that a try and see where it goes. They were asking you about Fearless Man, but
Fearless Man.
you've had like 2 special guest appearances for Fearless Man, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Well, I really like the people on Fearless Man. They're really nice. However, some of Brian Begins' videos that we watched, we didn't really like. Remember when I was showing you his videos?
Is he like the
He's
bald one?
yeah. He's like the head of Fearless Man. But I feel like all the people I've met from Fearless Man have been really cool. I've never met Brian, but we weren't huge fans of his like approaching and like conversational style with women that he was demonstrating. But I have heard of like some of the exercises they do at Fearless Man. I think they're pretty good. Well, they seem like quite brilliant in some ways. So yeah, if you guys are familiar with Fearless Man, what do you think of them? So yeah, are you there?
No.
Okay.
He says link the channel in the chat, so I'm gonna
Okay.
figure out what exactly the channel address is.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
pretty
like
sure it's just like
it's just the Fearless Man.
No. I think they're talking about the Beardo.
Oh, Beardo Speaks, right? Yeah. So Cosmic Shy is back. We got a woman in the chat. Cosmic Shy.
Great.
Yeah.
One.
Well, we had 2, but the other one left. So, Cosmic Shy, are you into the DDLG at all? All right, guys, any other questions for David while you got him? This guy knows a lot. I'll tell you that. That I can tell you.
They say he knows a lot.
They say no. Oh, God. So, Cosmic Shy, it's kind of controversial, so I don't like to spell it out for people, but it stands for Daddy Dom Little Girl. It's a kink. It's basically like a soft top, soft dom style, but Evan Wells once says, if you're a dude and you're broke, are you pretty much screwed, or do you think there are ways to not let that compromise you in seeking dates?
I guess I don't have like the what do you call it, like the vanity URL.
Mm-hmm.
It's like okay. I know that she's put the link to the channel to be in several of her videos. What are we looking at?
If you're
This
broke, are you screwed?
Oh, oddly enough, no. Because like I got divorced and I was really broke, and I did surprisingly well. One thing that I noticed that you may not realize is that being broke is actually somewhat of a help in having casual sex because like less women will actually want to be in a relationship with you. And so that can work in your favor every now and then. Victoria had a, what do you call it, coaching client where I came in, we talked about his dating life a little bit, and this guy seemed like such a catch in a way, right? Like such a stable, solid guy, and I'm like, yeah, like of course everybody wants to be in a relationship with you, and they don't want to just like have
Yeah,
casual sex with you and then have you move on. So I had the advantage of at least some women not wanting to be in a relationship with me because I was so broke. But some women will want to be in a relationship with you as well if you're broke. But
yeah. And remember that like TikTok with the Matrix thing with like the hot and broke, hot and rich, rich and
rich and broke.
yeah, that doesn't make sense. Well, there's like
committed.
Committed, yeah, committed. Yeah, like that girl was dating quite a lot of broke guys. It seemed like because she had already typed them. And she was like some Miami, looked like she might have been some gold digger type, But she was dating broke guys too, because broke guys. Not every rich guy is going to be good at sex. Not every committed guy is going to be good at sex. But if you find a broke guy who gives you a lot of chemistry and the right
he's got to have
attitude,
something going for him, right?
You have to take what you can get. Yeah, you'd prefer if he was rich, but he's not. All right, so you're not going to get it somewhere else. So you have to take what you can get, and if he's broke, all right, you're doing it.
Yeah.
So
what were your favorite places to take girls out, David? I think that's very like customizable. I don't know. It's something you have to answer for yourself. It's something that you take them places that you like and you feel comfortable, and you're gonna appear to be like high value or capable or whatever, because you're in a place that you feel comfortable and you go kind of frequently. Also, I think that it's really smart to plan the date, set a time, pick her up ideally, and then, but like start with like something that's kind of romantic, like date fare, like, dinner, movie. I mean, these are like, I feel like my ideas are so outdated, but and then like from there go to some place that's more intimate, like a bar, or like I did like a wine bar that worked out really well for me one time. And then from that, more intimate place, then if you can get some physical chemistry going, then you have a nice next step to say like, hey, would you like to come back to my place? And like, it's really good if you have some kind of excuse. Like, for instance, maybe, you and the girl that you're dating smoke marijuana, right? So you say like, oh, like you want to come back to my place and smoke, right? Beautiful. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, great, and then she comes back to your place, and then you've got a much better chance of pushing things forward. I can't think of any other really good excuses, but I'm sure there are tons. Come back,
One time-
Netflix and chill is like a famous one.
yeah, there's my last boyfriend before you, he asked me if I wanted to come over to like see his guitar, because I told him I played guitar too. And I knew that was kind of like a flimsy excuse. I'm like, yeah, see your guitar. Right. Yeah, okay. Let's go see it.
Sure. It just
So-
puts on this, fig leaf or whatever, right? Because then the woman can pretend, if you will, that like she's not coming back to your place to have sex. She has another reason, and then it's a little bit easier, I think, than to get out of it, right? If you say to a woman like, will you come back to my place and have sex with me? Even if she wanted to do it, that's like a lot of pressure. She's
Oh
gonna say,
yeah.
she's gonna say, even if she's hoping that you would invite her back to her place so that she could have sex with you. If you put it like that bluntly, then it's like, what? Do I have to sign on the dotted line here?
Great
Or,
point.
can I back out of it? So you say something like, you got to see this, guitar that I have, it's a Fender, it's signed by somebody or whatever. And then, the girl who, is hopefully entertaining the idea of sleeping with you has this excuse. Oh, sure. Like, I'll go back and I'll check his guitar. And if I like the vibe, maybe we'll have sex. And if I don't like the vibe, then I'll say, okay, I saw your guitar. I'm
Yeah.
out. Right?
That's a great point. Yeah, I never thought about that. But like, if you, as a woman, were to say you wanted to have sex before you've kissed, like, how would you know if you wanted to have sex? You have to take it step by step. You have to kiss. Does that feel good? You have to make out. Does that feel good? And then you'll know then whether you want to go all the way or not. You can't just say you want to have sex, because what if you start kissing him and then it's absolutely horrible and you're like horrified, but then he's like, well, you promised me and now you will pay. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm going to get like violent and angry because like you owe me now. That's crazy. So you're right. Fantastic point. Um, so CB.3 says, you both have actually changed how I look at dynamics of men and women, and I can say with confidence that I am now much more successful than I was and am able to make women feel good and keep coming back. Fantastic, CB3.
Yeah.
We're both very, very happy for you.
Repeat business was always like my main strategy.
Repeat business, yeah.
Keep them coming back.
Keep them. Oh, good point, yeah. So then Cosmic Shy says, well, in all honesty, I have been referring to my hubby as daddy for a while because it's like an endearment term this point with 4 kids. Aw, that's cute. So then he's awesome as a dad and hubby provider. Before I'd have said it's odd, but I can see where daddy is a sexy term for a man.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, it's pretty late here.
Okay, all right.
So I'm going to take off.
But there's one more question.
There's always one more. Do you even know what the question is?
I'm choosing it.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, this is it. Evan Wells 1.
Okay.
When you meet up for a date, is it cool to start doing those small but impactful touches, like
Yes.
touching the small of her back
Yes.
to guide her and things like that, or do you need cues for that stuff first?
And well, it depends. Everything you do need cues. Everything is situation dependent, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I would not be, if I'm on a date, I would not be adverse to trying something like you're talking about there, and just see what kind of reaction you get. If that's too much, then okay, like you gotta take a few steps back and just try to do something even less. But I mean, that's pretty small in my opinion. And yeah, the more that you do that and aren't all shaky or jerky, you just do it. You can't see what I'm doing, but you just you're talking and you just put a hand on her hand or something, and you do it very slow and gently. Or she says something funny and you just touch her arm, but those little things establish not only the physical intimacy, but also that you're confident and comfortable doing what you want, and it's you're communicating that you feel like you deserve to be able to touch her. It's almost like I'm struggling for the right word, like ownership, possessiveness, dominance.
Yeah. You're right. Well said.
Oh, this is fun. I can see why you've been enjoying these so much.
Yeah, they're really fun.
Yeah. All right. So, all right, everybody, try to subscribe to Beardo Speaks. I'll try to do some videos soon.
All right, and I'll go too. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much to my #1 live supporter. Well, be what it is, 707. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone else for sharing your questions, thoughts, comments, personal kinks, and shares.
Input your credit card or whatever it is that you need to do. I really think that you guys should be like tipping $1 whenever you ask a question. And this is,
Oh, he's nice, guys.
I don't know. I feel like this is embarrassing.
No.
These guys are asking all these questions and just like getting free advice, and like they should throw you $1 for crying out loud.
You're nice too. So,
I'll just sub this Beardo Speaks, so he found it.
nice. Uh-oh.
Are we going?
Yeah, we're going. I just saw one thing I didn't like, but
All right. You want to address that real quick?
Well, this guy says CB.3. To be honest, if she likes you, you shouldn't need an excuse to go back to your place. You shouldn't have to beat around the bush. I'd say just be honest and take things slow.
Totally disagree.
Well, I also disagree, CB3. To be honest. But
you know what I think is a really cool, I've said this to you a lot of times, but
yeah.
Really cool song along this lines is like Christina Aguilera, Genie in a Bottle, You Gotta Rub Me the Right Way.
Right.
The song is like, you know, the woman, Christina, is ready to have sex. She wants to have sex with you. But she's like, you know, nevertheless, like you have to do the things right in order to get me. I'm a genie in a bottle. You got to rub me the right way. So I think that even if she's ready for sex, or, you know, entertaining the idea of sex, at least I think that's more accurate. She's entertaining the idea of sex, you know, before you go through with it. Then if you give her kind of like that out, if you give her that fig leaf, if you give her that, you know, alternative explanation for why she's going to your place, then it just takes a lot of the pressure off.
You're right. You're right. And trust me, you're not like tricking her. Like she knows what you're saying. It's like you're both like.
It's like if you were in the market for a car, would you go to a dealership where they make you pay for the car before you even go in to decide which car you want? You know, maybe that's not a great analogy, but I don't think most women are going to want to like commit to having sex, you know, before they go back to your place. Like just make it like, you know, they know what you mean. You're not beating around the bush. You're not lying. You're not making, you know, just say like, oh, you know, like, oh, you like such and such show. Like, oh, you know, like there's a new episode out. I don't know, like any flimsy excuse to like get her back to your place. She knows what's going on. Yeah. She knows that once she's in your place, she's in a situation where she could, you know, very easily choose to have sex with you.
Yeah.
But keep in mind too, like women are, you know, 90+% much physically weaker than the men that they're dating. And it's a bit scary, right? So they often feel scared to, like, you know, back out of sex. So then they feel scared to go into a situation where they have kind of like committed to sex, because the guy could get really mad. Sometimes we do get mad, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's scary to go to the house at all, because then you're like behind closed doors. You're no longer in public. So I think like just when you make it seem like non-threatening, low pressure, like, oh, let's just like hang out, let's chill, let's like have some juice.
Sure.
Let's just like watch TV together. You're kind of like, oh, he seems safe. He seems nice. He seems normal. I feel safe enough to go further, you know? So, and I mean, think about, can I tell him like what I said?
Yeah.
When I first met him, I wanted him to come back to my place, but I told him, please, like, you have to understand, you can come back to my place, but I cannot promise anything. Please do not expect that anything is going to like happen between us.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make sure that he understood that I could change my mind.
Yeah.
And he has to be like okay and not trying to like be all insane.
Yeah.
You know?
It was like super late at night. It's like, oh yeah, sure. You know, nothing's gonna happen, sure. Like you said something, you know, very like almost like you're shutting the door on it in advance, right? You said like, you know, you want to come up, but you know, like probably nothing's gonna happen or something.
Yeah. Because I want to keep the expectations very, very low as possible,
Yeah.
so that I could decide what I felt like in the moment without him misunderstanding what I would need to feel safe in that situation.
Yeah. And luckily I was, you know, I mean, old enough, I guess, seasoned enough to understand by that point that, you know, her saying that like nothing's going to happen didn't really mean much, you know, but it's just kind of the act of her inviting me up was more significant than her saying like, oh, you know, don't get your hopes up because probably nothing's going to happen. You know, I knew that this was my opportunity, and you know, luckily, you know, things worked out.
Yeah. And my plan was I'm going to kiss him. I'm going to see how it goes. And if I feel something, we'll see what happens. But that's what was going on in my head. I was just like, I just want to get him somewhere where we could just like test it out. So, yeah. All right, guys. We have told you too much. And now we must go.
All right, that was
All right.
fun.
All
See
right.
you guys.
Thank you guys so much.
And ladies.
And ladies.
lady.
And Cosmic Shy. So, and any other ladies who might not have revealed themselves.
Right.
All right. Good night and farewell.